The region of Murcia has been undergoing active and resolute transformation within the ambit of quality and excellence in research, the goal being one of social benefit and economic growth in R+D+I. We strive to strengthen and promote scientific excellence so that the wealth of talent and knowledge which our universities and research centers treasure, and ultimately our personnel from both home and abroad, shall become a decisive factor in our economic and social prosperity. Our groups of excellence are one of our region's main assets, representing one of our most competitive and productive areas within the scientific and technical scenario. They are the benchmark of high schoolification and therefore that mark the progress of the whole region of Murcia, which, together with its government, provides utmost support. This places us not just in a good position, if not in amongst the best.
Research is a way of life for me, a philosophy of life. Research is always there, it never ends. We're always researching. After a hard working day, as most of them are, you get home and are unable to disconnect. The motivation to keep on researching is the fact that one has curiosity to know, and that is something that comes as one starts research, and if it is vocational, one has it even when one is retired. I feel privileged and lucky to be in an environment surrounded by youth as university, and that we can tell the things we research in the classrooms, and it has very nice dynamics. Personally, my motivation is just to be satisfied with myself. When I retire, I would like to say, well, I like what I've been doing throughout my life.
For me, research is a way of life. It's gratifying since I work in what I like. This is what my husband reminds me of every morning. But it has some disadvantages, such as we surrender a lot of personal and familiar time for the sake of our job.
It's our vocation. We never have time enough to keep on researching, reading and studying. It's sometimes true our families suffer the consequences, so we have to be moderate and sensible in our life. Research is a fascinating task. It is like introducing into a virgin forest and making way in order to find something absolutely unexpected. I think that this is vocational. Looking forward to it is what makes you feel like solving a problem that you were not able to solve previously on a Sunday at 3 p.m. There is not a more practical motivation than this one. Research is something that gets you hooked on. Indeed, someone can say, no one in this world knows more of this issue than us, and when we're advancing in a project, in a research issue, we know that no one is advancing in that direction and that we can find advances, knowledges that are going to be very notable, and that is really attractive. And it is very important that we come back to this issue to arouse vocations in young people, because this will keep on being a quite important part as regards to the future of this country. I would not understand a different thing. I didn't think of another idea. I guess this happens to other scientists too. I do not have hobbies, have everything planned, and travel quite often. But my journeys are connected just to this, so the point is, it is not what science means in my life, but actually, my life is this.
I have renounced my life in order to devote to this. This has been the gospel truth. My personal life has not had a negative effect on my work. I mean, I have been always totally devoted to research.
This continual attitude, which makes you be always learning and finding things out, is great. It is a life philosophy. I work for the state. I'm paid for researching, and this is why I have to research, because it's my profession. A different thing is when profession eats the person. The disappointing aspect, somehow, from my point of view, obviously, is that one has to research with himself and his circumstances, and being able to be open to possible collaborations or new ideas that come from other scopes or from your own environment, in order to supply and look for new synergies in research. I think that the purely scientific acknowledgement of being considered as a group who is in the vanguard of the research within the scope of the Murcia region is something worth keeping in mind. Once that the research vocation has aroused, there is nothing like research for me. And so, getting these abstract intellectual developments, in science, not in art, is a creative activity that I find very satisfying. Curiosity, supported by reason, arouses from the fact of being curious, aiming to know. Nowadays, knowledge is complex since it requires reason in order to assimilate and explore, and that is what research is about. Is the third leg of what holds this activity, which is assistance, teaching and research. I could not think of my professional career if one of these aspects lacked. It is very difficult to think what my professional life would be like.
I have often thought in giving up, but I have not done it because I didn't know the reason why I should do it. And because I have always counted on the unconditional and constant help of Miguel, my husband and father of my son. It's a very satisfying work.
The The relation with Seneca Foundation must have a continuous feedback. The obtained outputs must go to the Foundation, whereas the Foundation must communicate to the excellence groups, which are the interests of both enterprise and society. Everybody has to be benefited by the DNA of the region of Murcia, being in this case embedded in these research groups.